are live again from Musikmesse. It's the third day. I'm here with my mate, bro, Chris from PMC Speakers.
Good to be back, Mark.
He was
Thanks
a guest in my English podcast the other day. It's the third day. Are you still alive, Chris?
Absolutely not. What about you, Mark?
Living the dream, so I can keep up the energy.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's been a good show.
But I'm looking forward to a couple hours sleep.
Just a couple would be good.
PMC Speakers, high-end brand.
Yes. Yeah.
Competing with the most expensive out there.
Yeah. We like to, or we're certainly regarded by the market as, should we say, some of the leading speakers or monitors here for recording and mixing and mastering, as well as broadcast and post-production.
Surround studios. And
Indeed, yeah. Certainly, yes, Teldex in Berlin have a very prominent classical recording studio. They have surround PMCs, for example, and of course in the film industry in Hollywood. We actually won an Emmy back in the 90s for our contribution to recording excellence. A lot of, if not most of the Hollywood films you see have had some sort of PMC treatment, being composed, recorded or mixed on PMC.
Yeah, so what's the history of the company? When started and how did they get to the point where they are, where it's a highly regarded brand in pro audio?
Sure. Well, like any good British audio story, it started at the BBC.
Okay.
So our owner and founder, Peter Thomas, he was chief engineering manager, or chief technical manager, sorry, I forget his full title, at Maida Vale Studios in the BBC. Maida Vale, very popular, very active studios, handling all kinds of genres and styles of music, from pop, folk, classical, rock, dance, you name it. Basically, long story short, they had some speakers in the studio. They had a variety of speakers in the studio, depending on the kind of music they needed to produce, the kind of engineer that was working. But Peter took it upon himself to design and build some new transmission line style speakers. Transmission line technology has been around for a number of years, but never really refined. Transmission line is a style of cabinet design, basically, for the speaker. We all know sealed designs, we all know the very popular ported speakers, but we specialize in the transmission line design. So after a couple of years of prototyping... Is this
what I'm seeing there?
That is what we're seeing.
Can I grab that?
Absolutely, yeah.
Cool, I get it. So this is a PMC, which one is this?
This is a DB1. So this is one of the original vehicles. Exactly, a cutaway. Perfect example of the transmission line in action, So what is transmission line? The concept is pretty simple. You've got one long line folded within the cabinet. On one end you've got your drivers, your HF, your bass driver, maybe a mid-range if it's a three-way. Goes all the way around until you get to the vent exit there. Okay. The transmission line itself, you can see, has got lots of absorptive material down here. This absorptive material was, a lot of research went into that, the density, the diameters of the pores. Basically what we want that foam to do is absorb as much as the highs and the mids and the low mids as we can, so that the only energy, the only audio that's coming out of here is the really, really low stuff. Everything from around 100 hertz and below. So it's quite broadband. 100 hertz and below is quite broadband. But what that means is that the bass driver isn't doing as much. That's not actually the part which is producing the really low bass. It's so it gives it more headroom. It gives the driver more headroom, and you can get more volume out of it, and it's less distortion, less moving parts. So the result is when you nail the transmission line design is, well, the first thing people notice is the really low end extension. We can get a lower bass out of this cabinet compared to the same size ported or sealed design.
I see.
It's very low distortion. You haven't got bass frequencies bouncing around the cabinet and hitting the back of the drivers. It's a very, very good design for critical transparent monitoring.
What would you recommend as far as speaker placement, like in a smaller room?
Certainly, you've got to consider boundaries, for example, your walls, distance from the walls. For example, this DB1 is rear firing. So this in the studio may be a bit more susceptible to boundary effects than, say, our new Resort 6. This is the vent here. This is front firing.
I see.
But a good starting point, so here we've got the Resort 6s, say about 2.5 meters apart, and roughly 2 meters from the speakers is good. What we like to do is to get the acoustic center of the speaker to meet just behind your head. There.
Behind your head?
Just behind
okay.
your head.
Yeah.
It increases the dispersion, and also our ears are on the side of our ears aren't there. Our ears are here as well. So there's a couple of advantages to doing that.
Okay.
You know.
I see.
So.
Cool. I put that back. We see different sizes of speakers here.
Indeed. Yeah.
And different price ranges, I'm pretty sure.
Absolutely, yeah. So here at Music Master this year, our focus is most definitely the Result 6.
Yeah.
Okay, starts for about £2,000 or €2,800 for the pair.
Which for a high-end company is a pretty entry price.
Exactly, relatively speaking.
Yeah.
We haven't been able to produce a near-field speaker, compact active speaker of this quality before, basically.
Yeah.
People may know the 2.2 series.
Yeah.
They start at a higher price, but with new research and development techniques, new materials, we've been able to scale down the PMC quality, what people love about the PMC features, and make it into a more price accessible speaker. So here we have the Result 6s. We have a 5.1 setup here. Alongside that, we've got our MB3 XPDAs. These are the eye candy of the show. So this is representative of some of our flagship range.
Okay. Mastering studios would have the mixing rooms.
Very popular in the mastering rooms, but also mixing and mastering.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And post-production. It's not a one-trick pony, any application. So this is a three-way design, as we can see. It's the same
principle like here.
Always the transmission line. So the transmission line is the core of all PMC speakers, from our small ones to our large ones. I should clarify. Actually, it's the advanced transmission line. So it's the existing transmission line technology, but something we've refined, basically, and we call it the advanced transmission line, or ATL. So a little quick overview of the MB3 XPDA. This is a twin stack main monitor, roughly about 3,000 watts per channel, so plenty of power. And this isn't the biggest system we do either. So plenty of headroom. You can throw a lot at it. We've got twin 12-inch volt drivers here, produced by Volt, but to PMC specification. Important to know. Our own handmade 75mm mid-range soft dome here. This is a very special driver. This is handmade, hand-coiled, hand-doped, hand-assembled by us in our UK factory. It can take us up to a week to produce one of these. Very time intensive, but the requirements have to be absolutely spot on for the left and right speakers to be absolutely spot on. And then our active tweeter here, 24mm, actually, I forget the measurement. This is our active tweeter here. Very high power handling, very low distortion, complementary to the rest of the active system as well. And then the whole rig itself is powered by these electronics down here. These are the brains and the power. This is the engine behind the MB3 XPDA. So per channel, we've got two units. The Control 1200. This is a dual mono amplifier. So one amplifier for the tweeter, one amplifier for the mid-range. This also houses all the DSP and the filtering as well, the active crossovers. And then here we have our mono Power 2400. So this is 1200 watts into 8 ohms, or 2400 watts into 4 ohms.
So you mentioned DSP technology.
Yes,
and then when you set these up in a room, is there some tweaking involved?
Yeah, absolutely, there can be. So as we know, not all rooms behave the same. So we need some flexibility there to be able to tune the speaker, but also to engineers' own taste. Using this desktop remote, which is connected via Cat5 to our Control 1200, we can go into the menu. Just quickly show you some of the features here. So we can go into each channel. We can go to our left channel, our right channel, center, and surround if we have a surround rig. So let's go into our left channel. So here we can access the amplifier gains for each of the drivers. So here we're looking at the HF level, the amplifier feeding the tweeter. We can now turn that up and down as much as we want. We've got a movement of about plus or 8 dB, which is a lot, basically. Similarly, we've got the wrong way. Mid driver level, same controls. LF, the bass drivers. And then we have some, going the wrong way here, where are we? There we go. And then we have some simple EQ as well, HF shelf, LF shelf. And between those controls, that's a very comprehensive set of parameters that we can really finely tune the speakers, as well as positioning in the studio. We can really refine the sound to make it work well with the room, and also, you know, for yourself, if you like a certain kind of sound.
You can adjust them by taste, or you could also measure your room and say, okay, I want a little bit more of this. Or,
Absolutely, yeah. We actually always start with the positioning of the speaker first. Before we touch any of that, we always find that within the limitations of the room, placement of the speaker is much more effective than and then once we get the position to how we like it, then we can start going in there,
so
EQing and things like that.
What then with bigger installations like the one pictured here?
That's Metropolis,
Would then a team of PMC engineers come into your room and help you set it up?
Precisely. So for our flagship active systems, the IB2 SA, the MB3, the BB6 and the QB1 and all the XBD variants, these are quite comprehensive tools, and we want to make sure they're getting the best performance out of them. So when people invest in these, an authorized PMC engineer, either from the UK office or from one of our authorized distributors around the world, will go on site, help install the speaker and line them up so they're really singing and getting them how we know they should be performing. That's really important.
There's some more stuff over there.
Oh, we've got more stuff.
Can you fill me in?
Please, Cool. So up and running, playing music, we've got the Result 6s, we've got the MB3 set up. Here, just a static display, are our 2.2 series, who I'm sure a lot of your viewers will at least know. The 2.2 series has been around for, I'd say, 7 years or so now. Our flagship near-field series, starting with the 225 with a 5.5-inch driver, the 226 with a 6.5, and the 228 with an 8.5 or 8-inch driver here. They all feature the same or very similar amplifier and electronics in the back. And this is where the main differences between the 2.2 series and the Result 6 is.
There's a display, so there must be some DSP involved.
Precisely.
So can you talk me through that?
Absolutely. It's not powered on, but I can talk you through it anyway. So in terms of I/O, we've got a mixture of analog and digital. That's already an advantage over the Result 6. We also have, again, some more comprehensive controls. We have EQ, we can control roll-off. We also have remote control, so the similar as you saw as the MB3. You can control up to 14 channels of 2.2s, subs and all sorts, all from the convenience of your desktop. You can save presets, so you can have the Marc preset, and you can have the studio preset, you can have your A&R preset, and whatever you like, and just load it up at the flick of the button.
So how would you remote control this?
These are RJ45. So the same desktop remote as you saw on the MB3, connected via Cat5 or RJ45, and then you chain them like that. And just as a comparison, the Result 6, on the other hand, is far simpler. So of course, fantastic transmission line design, good crossover and driver integration, but you can see much simpler
controls. This is where some of the price difference sits.
Indeed,
the connectivity,
precisely,
which many people don't need this type of stuff, really.
If they don't need digital, if they don't need remote control, etc., then the Result 6 will be perfect. Simple balanced input, volume control, on and off, and that's it.
Same heritage, same technology.
Same transmission line, absolutely. The same effort and uncompromised quality into this. So we certainly don't call the Result 6 the cheap speaker. It's simply more affordable for PMC.
Cool. That's all I wanted to know.
Sure. Excellent.
I'll have a listen in my own studio. Very critical listen. And then, of course, in my own studio, I want them set up by Chris personally.
I will make it happen.
Cheers, mate.
Cool. Thanks for having me.
There we go.